Hi, welcome to the law offices of Jason L. Wilson. I'm attorney Jason L. Wilson, and this is my legal assistant Brooke. This is our law firm, and we help people in North Carolina with Social Security disability claims. We're doing some videos to post on Facebook and YouTube to give people some information about Social Security disability law and Social Security disability cases. And so I think Brooke has a question.
Yes, I do. Do you have to have a lawyer to represent you in a Social Security disability hearing?
Well, that's a good question. And the short answer to that question is no. You don't have to, or you're not required to be represented by a lawyer at a Social Security disability hearing. The Social Security Administration allows a person to be represented by a lawyer at a disability hearing, but it also allows a person to be unrepresented at a hearing. But the real question is, should you be represented by a lawyer at a disability hearing instead of going to that hearing by yourself? And the answer to that question depends on your answer to a few different other questions. Now, if a person goes to a disability hearing, a Social Security disability hearing by themselves, the Social Security rules require the administrative law judge that presides over the hearing to take extra care to help that person. The rules say that the administrative law judge is supposed to look into all of the relevant issues pertaining to the person's disability claim. They're supposed to ask the person all the relevant questions, and the judge is supposed to make sure that all of the relevant medical records are being obtained from the person's treating medical doctors. That's what the rules say that the judge is supposed to do, but that's not necessarily what actually happens. And I know this because I've had clients in the past who went to disability hearings by themselves without a lawyer, and I've seen the transcripts of the hearings, and so I know what generally goes on. And the reality is, the administrative law judges that work for Social Security don't necessarily ask all of the relevant questions during the hearings when the person has no client, and they don't necessarily get all of the medical records. So, even though a person can go to a disability hearing by themselves, that may not be the smartest thing to do. And I think you kind of have to think about it from this perspective. And I can ask you, Brooke. So, if you had to go to a disability hearing
Mm-hmm.
before a social security judge, do you know all of the disability rules and regulations that would apply at that hearing?
No, not at all.
Okay. Do you know what you would have to say in order to persuade a Social Security judge to approve your disability claim?
Not in the correct way.
And do you know what type of medical evidence must be submitted to the judge in order to support your disability claim?
I would think so, but no.
Okay. Now, Brooke has only been working for my law firm for a short time now, and so she's going to learn all of these things as she continues to work. But I think the average person probably would answer no to these questions. Now, that's why I am a disability lawyer. I know all of these things. I know all of the disability rules and regulations that apply to a disability claim. I know how and what to say to try to persuade an administrative law judge to approve a client's disability case. And I know what kind of evidence that we must obtain from a person's doctors and submit to the judge in order to support the uh, the disability the disability claim for the client. And I think the most important thing out of all of that is I know how to persuasively present a person's case to a judge to give them the best chance of getting the disability claim approved. So, if you're thinking about whether or not you need a lawyer to represent you at a Social Security disability hearing, I think you should ask yourself the questions that we just went over and ask yourself, would it be better to go to that hearing by yourself or have a lawyer like me represent you?